had that grit and threw a good ball, and they trusted him. So, yeah, man. I mean, I can't tell you how many times that I've protected John Parker, both on the field and possibly in a bar from time to time. So, yeah, man, I enjoyed hanging out with both those guys, man. Both solid teammates to say the least.
I remember hearing you say one time that your welcome to the NFL moment was when you lined up next to Tony Gonzalez in training camp and you looked down and was like, "Holy shit, that's Tony Gonzalez's hand." Um,
Yeah.
out of all the out of all the superstars you played with in Atlanta, what separated them from everyone else off the field? Because we all know how great they were on the field, but off the field, how did they, go about themselves in a way that you wouldn't have to even watch them play to know that this guy's the real deal?
I preparation of their bodies, especially for Tony, but even guys like Roddy White, Michael Turner. I played with a number of guys that were decades long players. Todd McClure, who was a center out of LSU, played for, I don't know, 13, 14 years. It was always how well you took care of your body. And I learned a lot from those guys, about how to do that. And Tony was the best. Tony was, still, 35, 36 with a six pack and, always just doing all the right things. He was at a different level when it came to taking care of yourself. And I think a lot of guys, in college, and you've been around the program, that there's guys that'll go to the bar and then they'll show up to the workout. You can almost sometimes smell the whiskey in there in the weight room in Alabama, because there's some guys that just show up to those 6 a.m.ers and they've been drinking all night. But the
Rounders.
older you got, the more you couldn't really pull that off. And that was one of the, talking to Tony was one of the first times I realized that you can't pull that off anymore. The older you get, and the NFL is different, man. The NFL, when you're done in January, whenever it is, the coach kind of steps in the locker room, says, "Hey, everybody, thanks for your work this year, and hey, we'll see you at the end of April for minicamp." It's we're starting OTAs or whatever. So you're kind of in charge of yourself. And watching Tony and Roddy and Matt and a number of those guys over the years, take care of themselves and do everything necessary to make sure they were in good shape, man. Just, off-season training, but also deep tissue massage and their diet and eating clean. And to me, that's what always separates the guys. Now, you obviously need the high-level athletic ability, but when those guys really hit that long tenure, that longevity, it's a combination of things. And I always looked at Tony the way he kind of took care of himself, man. He wasn't a guy that, was going to do anything too crazy drinking wise or partying. He was very about his business. And they say your body is or you're the CEO of your body. When it comes to the NFL, they absolutely emulated that in all phases. So that was very eye opening for me. And you mentioned the story about kind of seeing Tony's hand on the ground. I will never forget that as long as I live, because I thought, man, here this guy is. He's probably already a Hall of Famer. I am just this rookie that's my head's spinning, and here I am in practice making double team calls with Tony on these run plays. It was just a cool moment.